Good evening, everybody. Meeting again in the session of Stuart Close philosophy, and we were discussing regarding the chapter number 9, that is cure and recovery. We have spent a lot of time in last lecture in describing the art defined as explained by Stuart Close over there. In this chapter, cure and recovery, he explains both the things, the process of recovery, and sometimes it needs the help from the artificial homeopathic medicinal force in order to get the cure. And when it is needed, the physician should have always all that knowledge. Again, so all that knowledge so that he can treat both the things. He can treat his disorder with his intellect, with his art, both the things at a time. So both are necessary to understand, and that's why he is explaining all those details over there, and concepts have ever changed and understood by modern science later. So we'll go ahead with this. Just a minute, we'll have just a minute. So here he tries to explain about the art, the homeopathic art. Art and science goes hand in hand. When science starts expressing at its peak, it gets expressed into the art. And because of which, a homeopath who is thorough with science achieves his art by practicing. Practice makes these things possible. And that's the detailed explanation about those things he tried to explain over there. So in last lecture, we have given lot of time only on one paragraph, that is the art defined. Today we are going to learn further, that is art, not imitation of nature. Art is not mere servile imitation of nature, nor nature's process, although such base imitations are constantly being foisted upon the medical profession and the public in the same of the art or science. Imitation matlab nakal, to copy something. Imitation is not an art. If you copy someone, it is not an art. Art is something which requires an intellect behind it, which has an intellect, which has an use of memory, which expresses in the form of something, some beauty over there, and it expresses the inner nature of that person. And that's why art is the thing which you have to grasp, you have to develop. It takes a long time. It never happens within a day. It's a long process. Very few of us grabs that from our parents and born with the art. Otherwise, many of the people who have to work very hard to achieve that art. If you want to become a good homeopath, a good artistic prescriber, you have to develop that. You have to catch each and everything. You have to catch what is the wrong with the patient, what exactly the thing which expresses exactly the nature of the person, and the themes which you have to catch, and accordingly you have to prescribe. So I have given simple examples on that day. A patient walks in front of you and he all of a sudden comes in front of you and talks abruptly, and he says, "Doctor, yes, I want your treatment very fast. You must treat me immediately. I want it right now." He's expressing his own inner nature. If you are an artistic homeopath, you will catch what exactly he meant by him, what exact rubric he is defined, what exact rubric you can catch for, and you can prescribe him a remedy. The rubric is doctor must cure him instantly, immediately. The remedy is, everyone knows, that is the chamomilla. It is so acute state. But if you are able to catch that, you will not going to prescribe on the what is the diagnosis and all those things. You are artistic prescriber, you will going to catch this. And from where this art has developed? It is you have developed it from learning someone, then you have developed your own skill behind it, and then it happened. It is not just a imitation, and that's what he is expressing. Hahnemann says the vital force capable of only of acting in harmony with the physical arrangement of our organism and without reason, insight, or reflection was not given to us, that we should regard it as the best guide in the cure of disease. What man of sense would undertake to imitate nature in her endeavors of coming to the rescue? Rescue means bachao karne. No, the true healing art is that intellectual office incumbent on the higher human mind and free of powers of thoughts in discriminating and deciding according to the cause. It has been said by the modern practitioners at that time, Hahnemannian time, that we imitate the nature. And that's why we are rational practitioner of healing art. This is what their concept was there. And what they were considering, we are imitating nature because nature itself tries to cure itself by producing vomiting, by producing diarrhea, by producing sweating. And that's why we used to give the remedies like producing vomiting, producing diarrhea, producing sweating. And we are copying the nature, we are imitating the nature, we are helping the nature by same method. Hahnemann says it is not the way. Basically, nature never tries to recover itself by throwing out all those substances. Yes, because of that, the patient's internal organs, vital organs, for time being might be saved. But it doesn't mean it cures. It's not at all. It is not a method by cure. Then otherwise everything would have cured. Every chronic disease has answer with itself, but it is not so. In fact, Hahnemann was so frustrated with chronic diseases that ultimately he has to work hard for nearly 12 years to find it out a cause behind the chronic diseases. So nature itself doesn't have capacity to cure itself by such method. And this is what he is explaining over there, that you cannot make this with the help of imitating the nature. For that purpose, you have to find it out, a right remedy from your self, from your armamentarium of the medicines kept over there, and you have to catch a right remedy and prescribe it for the patient. And to catch the right remedy, it requires both the things, science as well as an art. Here you have to apply all the laws of homeopathy, and along with that, you have to catch exactly the right remedy. You have to listen to the patient, you have to observe the patient, you have to pursue the patient, and then you have to catch what exactly the nature of the person is. And that's why he explains all those things. And he says, to illustrate, many examples of the working of the homeopathic principle may be found in nature. The happy but unexpected results of accidental experiences, such as relief from rubbing bruise, applying snow to the frozen ear, or radiant heat to the burnt finger, the instinctive actions of the sick or injured animals, as they when they eat grass or leaves to produce the vomiting, when they are nauseated, or leak the secretions from their own wounds or sores. There are many examples of homeopathic cure you can observe, but you cannot wait for nature to produce its cure. It is not possible. So if you want to produce that cure, then you have to find it out a right remedy. What homeopath should learn from it? If a homeopathic artist desires to profit by observation that a dog had apparently cured himself by licking the pus from his own sores, or that the human victim of septicemia had recovered after accidentally or intentionally ingesting portion of his own morbid secretions, he would not think of imitating these procedures. desiring to ascertain the value of autogenous pus as a possible remedy, he would first submit the morbid products to recognize the scientific process by modification by mechanical potentiation according to the method of Hahnemann and carry it to the point where there could be no question of non-existence of toxic or septic qualities. Just observing a dog who is licking his own saliva for getting it cured, you will not going to do and imitate the nature. If you are a homeopath, you will utilize your intellect. You will utilize your art. You will going to catch from that and you will think over it. Then what you will do? You will take that saliva of the dog. Then according to the homeopathic methods of pharmacy, you will potentize that. Then you will first prove that what it will going to cause on the healthy human being. And then on the basis of symptom similarity only, you will going to utilize that remedy. And same is true for the pyogenic infection. So pyrogenium is the remedy which is prepared in the similar method. It is not just imitating the nature, it is utilized on the basis of scientific knowledge. All the principles of homeopathy are used. The method of drug proving and drug dynamizations are used. After proving whatever the symptoms, they are noted down, and then it has been utilized on the basis of law of similar. It is not just imitating the nature, and art is not like that. And this is what he wants to highlight over there. Art is not an imitation, but art requires an intellect, a process of thinking, and homeopathic prescribing is the process of thinking. Having thus removed the obnoxious qualities of the substance and raised it from the physical to the dynamical plane, he would next submit it to the test of proving upon healthy persons. Or if he choose to approach the problem first from the clinical side, he would administer doses of potentiated substance to the person from whom it was taken and observe results, checking them up later by the results of proving. So, it is not that just taking that saliva and using it in the patient or taking that pus and using it in patient like isopathy. It is not like that. It is just a method, scientific method. If you will feel that it has medicinal properties, first you will make it potentize, then you will utilize it in healthy persons. Make it thorough proving. Write down whole totality, what happens after improving, and then utilizing that totality for the persons who suffers from the similar type of manifestation. Actually, this is homeopathy and this is scientific homeopathy. And it requires an artistic view to catch the right remedy. So, all those things which he wants to explain over there, homeopathy is not the system which is just based upon imitation, but it is the system of medicine which is based upon science as well as art. To illustrate, venomous reptiles and insects inject their poison by puncturing skin and obtain quick and positive results. This suggests but does not justify the use of hypodermic needle for therapeutic purposes than which no more pernicious violation of the principles of the true medical art was ever devised. The use of hypodermic needle for therapeutic purposes is merely a slavish imitation of nature and of the nature in her most malignant modes. The avowed म्हणजे कबूल करणे. The avowed object of the procedure is to get quick and positive results, but like many other questionable medical expedients, it is a violation of principle of healing art and an evil to combat by every homeopathician. So, venomous reptiles, when they bite, it's just a needle-like prick is there, and through which it produces its poison, affects the human being. And when it affects the human being so fast, if you imitate it and give the hypodermic needle and put your medicines through that, you expect that it will act in the similar fast manner. Anyone says here you are going against the principle. You are going against the homeopathy. This is not a homeopathic way of prescribing. What Hahnemann have said in the second aphorism, how the cure should be. Cure should be a gentle. This is not the way it is called to be gentle. So using needle, hypodermic needle is not the gentle cure. Here you are putting an injury to the patient. That is not the aspect of homeopathic prescribing. This is what Hahnemann wants to explain, and even Close want to say. So putting hypodermic needle is just an imitation of the nature. If you consider it is wrong, you should not go with this. You have to understand, you have to utilize your intellect, you have to go for scientific principles, you have to follow the principles, and then you have to prescribe for the patient. This is the right method of treating the patient. And this is what he wants to explain over there. If every hypodermic needle in existence were destroyed, it would still be possible to cure or relieve every curable disease quickly and safely by means of appropriate medicine administered by natural channel. So there is no need to give the medicine to hypodermic through hypodermic needle. Not at all. No injections are necessary. You can treat those patients with the help of natural routes, just putting a few globules in the mouth and cure can be achieved. Imitation of the nature is paltry substitute for the art. Whatever may be the outcome in the long run and final accounting, nature temporarily at least works irrationally, blindly, painfully, wastefully, as when she creates a million spawn म्हणजे eggs, spawn to secure a dozen fish, or suppurates an eye away in the effort to remove splinter from the cornea. Undoubtedly, law underlies all such efforts, but it is law violated, thwarted, or hampered in its operation by adverse conditions. Art thereupon steps in, removes the obstacle, quiets disturbances, improves the condition, and accomplishes the results with the least expenditure of force by means of perhaps similar but always superior to those used by the nature. So, here he explains what you can get through imitation and what you can get through art. If you try to imitate nature by using the same methods, you will spoil, you will destruct many things, and this happens many times. And he has given simple example of eye. If there is something foreign body inside the eye, on specifically on cornea, and if you don't remove that, and if you try to treat that by just as it is throwing away the watering, there is continuous watering from the eyes, and you are putting something over there to remove the, or making the lacrimation, you will spoil that eye. There will be a corneal ulceration, corneal opacity, and vision is lost. But it's so simple. You have to understand what is wrong with the patient. You can catch there is foreign body on the cornea. Just remove that foreign body. Keep the eye completely closed for 24 hours. And next day it has been healed. You have to understand what exactly the disease is. You have to understand how it should be treated. Every patient is different, and for every patient, your approach is different. You have to utilize a proper approach in order to treat the patient. And that is what is an art. That is what is an intellect. That is what is an science. And this he expects from the homeopath. And to conclude that specific part, in the last paragraph, he explains cure is never accomplished by methods which are but mere imitation of nature or nature's processes. Recoveries only result from such methods. Frequently, great injury is inflicted upon the patient by use of such methods because many of nature's processes cannot be successfully imitated by man. There is always something which eludes म्हणजे निष्ठून जाणे, which eludes us in our attempt to grasp the nature's deeper secrets. So here he explains that if you just try to make an imitation of the nature and try to cure the patient with the similar methods as nature has produced, you will harm the patient instead of curing. Cure is something more than that, where science comes. So using law of similars on the basis of symptom similarity, preparing medicines on the basis of doctrine of drug dynamization and doctrine of drug proving and doctrine of drug dynamization, and using those dynamic medicines to the patient according to the situation is the scientific method. Then you can cure. But just as nature produces such a thing and you are using same method, if nature tries to throw away it by the vomiting, you expect that you are going to produce the vomiting. This is wrong. And those methods will not going to cure any patient. Instead, it makes patient more and more harm. So this is what the artistic aspect along with the scientific procedure, scientific aspect he has explained over there. The next point comes distinction between cure and recovery, but we'll keep that as it is. We'll discuss that topic and next further futures about the recovery and cure in the tomorrow session. So that will be the thing for today. Today we're not going to have a materia medica session. Tomorrow we'll have materia medica session and organon session both. But today it's not possible to conduct the MM session at 8 o'clock. So that's all for today. Any query is there, we can have a chat. Otherwise, we'll conclude. So we'll conclude and we'll meet tomorrow evening at the same time. Thank you.